In a world of horror, countless hours of cinema, what is truly terrifying? What will keep the kids up at night? What scene can never be unseen? Join us as we watch everything horror and discover the 13 degrees of screams.
Welcome to 13 Degrees of Screams.
We're your hosts, Stephanie.
And Alex.
This week we have special guest Michelle Masker here with us to discuss Nope.
Michelle is a professional actress hailing from the Lone Star State of Texas. Growing up in Corpus Christi, she was first introduced to the world of acting by Charlotte Brown. Michelle also pursued higher education and earned her master's degree in social work from the University of Texas San Antonio. Balancing her professional career and her personal life, Michelle devotes herself to her loving family and her adorable German shepherds, Liesel and Taylor.
I just wanted to ask, is she named after the daughter in Sound of Music?
No, Liesel is German for Elizabeth, and we like the name Elizabeth, so that's how, because she's a German dog. So
I gotcha. That's very cute. I like that name.
Yeah, and then we rescued another German shepherd, and she was already named Taylor.
Oh,
so we have Elizabeth Taylor.
Oh, that's so cute.
So
I have a
bizarre.
German Shepherd mix, and he's like a handful.
Oh, I love him. Don't you love him, though?
Yes. He's a big baby.
Yeah,
he's
I
here near
hear you.
everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's like a
Oh,
little Chicken Little. He goes outside and looks like the sky's going to fall.
how cute. Yeah, they can be, and they shed. I don't know if your mix sheds, but mine sheds so much.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Some of Michelle's credits include roles in Kirpo and the upcoming Basil King and Sherlock Holmes Mare of the Night. Michelle, thank you for joining us while we discuss Nope today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to it.
We were wondering, before we kind of get started in the plot and movie background, what about Nope made you want to discuss this?
You know, I remember when I first saw the trailer for Nope, and it was just so ambiguous that I was like, what is this even about? Like, what am I about to watch? And I love Jordan Peele, of course. You know, I love Get Out and Us. So I wanted to see it, mostly because of him and Daniel, the lead. I thought he was amazing in Get Out. There was no reason for me not to want to. So that was pretty much it. Just very curious about what is this movie even about? And then, you know, the cast and director, of course.
The poster really spoke to me, too, like with that horse floating in the clouds and everything. I don't know. I just thought it was so artistically shot. I loved it.
Oh, yeah. It's beautiful. Like the whole film is just so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I was just going to say, like, I didn't even realize it was Daniel Kaluuya in this movie because we covered Get Out. And I was like, oh, wait, that's the same guy from Nope. Like, it took me a minute to, like, realize they were the same actor, but he's great in everything.
Yeah, he's so different in Nope than Get Out.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he's just
like
so expressive. Like, you can always tell exactly how he's feeling. It's
like right in his eyes.
very, very
It's
expressive
like,
eyes. Yeah.
you feel everything he's going through. I loved him in Nope, too. He did such a great job.
Yes. Have you seen the other Jordan Peele movies like Us and Get Out?
Yes, yeah, I saw Get Out, and that was just one of those movies that it was just so different, you know, and like modern from a lot of the other kind of horror genres. And I know there was a lot of systemic things that went on in the film, but it just overall, it was just like a whole unique look on horror and that kind of film. I loved it. That was great. And the acting was phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. I think I realized that I liked Nope a lot more the second time around because I will be the first to admit that I'm not an alien movie person. So the first time I was like I still like Us a lot better, and then Get Out, maybe then Nope. But yeah, the second time around, I liked it a lot better. I looked up a lot more fan theories and everything afterwards.
Yeah, I'm with you. I watched it, you know, when it came out a couple years ago, and I really liked it, and I thought it was great. And then I watched it again because I'm like, I don't even remember everything that happened. And the second time I watched it, I was really curious about the chimpanzee. And I didn't even look that up before. And then I realized it was based on an actual event. And then I was like, okay, now everything kind of makes sense. It's all coming together now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm with you. I liked it the second time around better. It was so good.
Yes.
Yeah, I think all of us are in the same boat because Nope ended up not being what I expected. And I think maybe that's why initially I was like, it was good. I liked it, but I was not as much as the other two. But the second time around, like having looked into the movie a little bit more, I appreciated a lot of the symbolism and I understood it more. Like, I feel like the first time I walked out of the theater, I'm like, I don't know if I understood everything I just saw, but I liked it a lot more the second time.
Yeah, like the first time I saw it, I just thought it was like a sci-fi thriller, kind of different take on a Western film. But then when I saw it the second time and I saw more of the symbolism and how it related to animals and entertainment and all of that kind of thing and humans.
Yeah, I definitely looked up so many theories about like connecting the monkey scene with everything that goes on with Jean Jacket. But yeah, just trying to figure out all of the connections and stuff there, especially with like the Jupe character. I thought his background and everything was so crazy considering what he was doing for a living.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. It was like you could tell he was so traumatized and there was definitely like some PTSD there. And then you realize that he was just kind of blocking it out and repeating the same thing. It was just kind of
definitely
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot he was the kid from the show because you're watching the movie. You're like, why are you doing this then if you survived what you survived? And then he's like, I'm going to capitalize on that. So it's like, what are you doing, sir?
I actually have a theory that explains it really well towards the end. So we can go over after the plot. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yay!
Are you ready for some movie background?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Nope is a 2022 American neo-Western science fiction horror film. It was written, directed, and produced by Jordan Peele under his Monkey Paw Productions banner. The film features Daniel Kaluuya and Keke Palmer as horse-riding wrangling siblings who are on a mission to capture evidence of an unidentified flying object. The supporting cast includes Stephen Yeun, Michael Wincott, Brandon Pereira, and Keith David. Peele announced this then untitled third directorial film in November of 2020 and drew inspiration from classic movies such as King Kong, Jurassic Park, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Jaws, Signs, and The Wizard of Oz. Palmer and Kaluuya joined the production in February 2021, followed by Yeun's casting in the next month. The title of the film was revealed by Peele in July 2021, and filming took place from June to November of 2021 in northern Los Angeles County. The premiere of Nope was theatrically released in the United States on July 22nd, 2022 by Universal Pictures. The film grossed $172 million worldwide and received positive reviews for its ambition, performance, cinematography, themes, visual style, musical score, and Peele's direction. So basically everything people liked about it.
Across the board.
Yeah. For sure. It was actually also honored as one of the top 10 films of 2022 by the American Film Institute. Since its release, Nope has been recognized as one of the best science fiction films of the 21st century and of all time. In 2023, it ranked number 21 on IndieWire's list of films with the best cinematography of the 21st century, noting that the visuals gave the film a unique sense of grandeur and mounting terror. The site also listed it at number 8 on its list of 62 best science fiction films of the 21st century, and number 4 on the list of the 25 scariest alien movies of all time. So if we go into Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 83% with a critical consensus that states, admirable for its originality and ambition, even when its reach exceeds its grasp, Nope adds Spielbergian spectacle to Jordan Peele's growing arsenal. And then the audience score is 69%, and that stated, it may not be the movie you think you're going to get, or even the one you want, but either way, Nope leaves a strong impression as a true Jordan Peele original. So it looks like the critics rated it a little bit higher, and then audience had a 69.
They just have to watch it again, like us, I guess.
I know.
Yeah.
Like us.
No, yeah.
That was stupid. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, you do walk away the first time kind of like appreciating like the cinematography and the acting, but you don't really get all of the symbolism and what they're talking about. Yeah, I can definitely see that because I experienced that.
Yeah, me too.
But I still enjoyed it. I thought it was a great film the first time I saw it too, and now it's even better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think just Jordan Peele's movies in general, most of them you can just walk away with like, well, yeah, that was a great movie. But then like on rewatching, you can just keep digging deeper and deeper to find more layers. It's just the way he works, I guess.
Yeah. I didn't know it received all those honors too. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with number 4 on the scariest alien movies of all time, but I mean, that's good recognition still.
Yeah.
Not really, but I guess most unique.
Yeah, I mean, by the end, I'm like, this is a full-blown action film at this point, I feel. Like, it's less horror and more sci-fi.
More sci-fi, more suspense. Than I did like I did get scared when those 3 boys came. Yeah, and didn't y'all think that was like a throwback to Us? I kind of felt like it was, because when he first comes out, he's like real stiff, and walking real slow and moving his head. And I was like, is he giving himself, like throwback? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was getting Signs vibes a little bit just with the alien. Like the part in Signs when the alien's like walking at the party and it's like off in the distance. I don't know why, but that part reminded me of that because you see the kid alien in the distance and you're like, what am I looking at? And then it starts moving and then you see what it is.
And then there's like another one creeping around the corner. My husband and I watched it together and we were both like, this is like the scariest scene of this movie.
It is.
Absolutely.
It's really creepy because you have no idea what's going to happen at that point.
Are we ready to get into the plot?
I am. Yep.
We start off with the quote, "I will cast abominable filth at you, make you vile, and make you a spectacle," from Nahum 3:6. The opening scene is the set of a sitcom now containing limp bodies and debris as the star of the show, a chimpanzee, roams the set agitated and bloody. We then cut to Agua Dulce, California, to the Haywood family that runs Haywood's Hollywood Horses, named for their ancestor Alistair E. Haywood, who rode the horse in the first moving picture ever made. One day, while training a horse named Ghost at the ranch, small pieces of metal violently fall from the sky. Otis Haywood Sr. is struck by a nickel that goes through his eye, and he later dies in the hospital from his injury.
Oh,
that scene.
That sucks so bad.
It's just so freaky, like the sound it makes as everything falls, too.
That was definitely scary, yeah. It was early on, and you didn't know what was going on. And that was before you understood it was like, where's it coming from? Like, what is doing that? What's falling out of the sky? Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys catch like the little key stuck in the back of the horse too? Like,
that horse is like, it's fine. It didn't even like react.
Hey, it wasn't
barely.
me, folks. It wasn't me.
And I think the key came up again somewhere else, right? There, and I'm like, I never got the significance of the key. I missed that. I'm sure there's one, but I remember that.
Yeah, I think after it rains all the blood and stuff on their house, there's one like stuck in their porch. I think it's on. Yeah.
What do you think that quote means at the very beginning? Do you have any like thoughts on that? Because I mean, it's obviously super intentional that you start the movie out that way.
Yeah. Basically, it's like the whole theme of the movie, in my opinion, just the spectacle of it all and how much everyone will pay to see something, even if it's awful.
Yeah. Especially like the whole filth part and vile. You think about the accident and then the guy, I forget his name already, Stephen Yeun's character, profits off of it. Jupe, yes, he profits off of it.
Yeah, it's like unfortunate that sometimes, we put entertainment over humanity and other things because we don't want to be bored, I guess.
I know, right? I mean, I think so I actually knew of the case with the chimp. And like, I was so fascinated by it, like listening to the 911 call. And that's like so terrible. Like you think about it, like I really want to hear the 911 call, but I'm like, what's wrong with me that I want to hear the 911 call?
Well, I think that's human nature. Yeah. You just want to know what happened, what went so wrong that, somebody almost lost their life, lost their face, lost their hands. I never heard that story. I just looked it up this morning and I was, when I saw it the second time, I was like, that's gotta be, because I think they say in the film, like that changed some laws or animals.
Oh yeah, with animal handling on set.
Yeah, it made a change. And then I was like, oh, and something must have happened. And it was so recent, 2009 for me. I'm like, that seems so recent.
Yeah, for sure.
I completely get it.
Yeah.
I also looked up the case just to read the whole thing too, like to figure out like why did she even have a monkey anyway? Like just
why did she? I don't remember. Just because.
Okay. So this woman, I think it was Charlene and Sandra. Charlene, I believe, was the one that had the monkey like since it was 3 days old, and it had been part of the family for several years. And her friend Sandra would come over and visit every once in a while or take care of the monkey when she was away. But something like snapped, I guess, after the husband died. And then, I mean, granted, he was drinking with the monkey, like drinking wine with the monkey, it said in the thing. I was like, I don't know if that's appropriate behavior with a monkey. But yeah, it's just...
Yeah, she lost her daughter too, and then she lost her husband. It's really tragic.
And she was just, I guess, living in filth and stuff like that with the monkey. And I think everything just kind of went downhill from there.
Yeah.
I mean, already downhill, but worse.
Yeah, continued.
Yes.
Downhill. I read that the monkey had Xanax in its system or something.
Yeah, she said that she had noticed he was acting up or something and put Xanax in it. And then I guess they both disagree, even to this day, that Charlene called Sandra to come and help with the monkey, or whether or not Sandra went back there on her own accord to help, just thought she could use a hand. But Sandra doesn't remember the attack at all. And she, at least what I read in the report, and she's like, I don't want to remember, obviously.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, I got pretty far into that, and then I have a really weak stomach with things sometimes, and I couldn't finish it. I started getting nauseous, and actually later in the plot, I had to walk out of the movie theater because I almost passed out in this movie, just because I tied it back to the actual case. Like, I actually, when I saw this in theaters, I had to walk out for a little bit because I almost passed out during it. Just because
it does jump right to mind too, like especially with the one girl's face being disfigured terribly from it. So
yeah, and then to see her, later in the stands, it's just like, oh my goodness,
what are you doing here? Leave.
I was also so mad at Jupe for inviting her. I was like, why would you think this is something she'd want to see?
Right? Yeah, it was just very interesting the way they all. I guess we're not traumatized enough. I don't know that they would come back for more, for this unknown.
Yeah, no.
Just scary.
Several months later, his children Otis Jr. and Emerald, aka OJ and M, are working with their horse Lucky on set. However, it seems like OJ lacks the charisma and M makes up for lacking in the passion for the business, as OJ whispers to the crew not to startle the horse. And M is only concerned with really marketing herself instead of their struggling family business. But either way, both siblings' words seem to fall on deaf ears, and they're immediately fired from set when a chrome ball utilized for visual effects is placed in front of Lucky, where he can see his own reflection, and he narrowly misses kicking an actress in the head. I felt so bad the whole time, and I was like, just listen to the damn man. Like, say, he says, don't bother the horse, don't talk too loud, and they're just like, yeah, well, we're right here anyway.
Yeah, totally disregarding everything he said, and he wasn't the extroverted one, so nobody listened to him. They were really lucky that horse didn't knock somebody's head out.
Although they deserved it though at that point. I'm like, Lucky, get him! Like, these people suck. They just blatantly disrespected OJ, like right there. Like, he heard you. He definitely heard you, but OJ didn't say anything.
And right before the incident, too, he did say, like, I think we need to take a break. And he was like, well, break after the shoot. And I'm like, you can't just decide when an animal's involved, when the break's going to be. The animal's going to choose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lucky decided, like, I'm going to take my break early by being done with this show.
Done with you. Done with you.
You're not going to, listen to the signs. I'll show you what I'm capable of.
Right. So in order to keep the business afloat, OJ sells Lucky to his neighbor, Ricky Jupe Park, an arrangement he's done previously with some of the family's other horses, as Jupe operates a Western themed park called Jupiter's Claim. M recognizes Jupe as a child actor, so he shows them a shrine he's made to his traumatic experience on a sitcom called Gordy's Home. We learn through a flashback that during a birthday episode, a balloon popped and Gordy the chimpanzee reacted violently, and killed most of his human co-stars, leaving Jupe completely unharmed, and was ultimately shot down by authorities. Jupe is still traumatized by this experience, as he can only describe it as it was parodied on Saturday Night Live, but also exploits it all the same by charging admission to see the shrine.
Mm-hmm.
I think he even mentioned something about like a couple paid him to sleep in the shrine as well. And I was like, that's an odd thing to want to see someone go through the worst moment of their life.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing to read about it online or something, but wanting to go sleep in a shrine is like another level of obsession, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I took that as like they wanted him to sleep in it and to witness him experiencing it.
Oh,
but maybe it was the other way around, that they wanted to spend the night there. Which either way, it's weird.
Yeah, no, I think because he said something like, I didn't ask them what they did. You know, he said something. So I think they just spent the night in there, which is disturbing enough.
Right. Is there like a bed in there somewhere we don't know about? Like, what's going on here?
They camped out.
Yeah. In a tent. In a fire.
So
it's
weird.
fine.
Yeah. That night, as the electricity in their home begins to fluctuate, the Haywoods notice one of their horse's ghost is out of the stable. When OJ goes to check on him, he can hear Jupe's theme park show in the distance, and the power goes out again, causing the horse to run away. He chases after it, all the while hearing Ghost make these terrible screaming noises and this whooshing sound in the sky, and eventually he glimpses what he believes to be a UFO. When he explains to M that this UFO thing is taking their horses, they decide they should get it on tape and sell the evidence of its existence. They then recruit electronics store employee Angel Torres to set up surveillance cameras, send him home when he offers to help, and steal a horse statue from Jupiter's claim to act as a decoy, but the UFO ends up abducting another horse that breaks out of the stable.
Stop taking the horses. I hate that. I hate this.
I was
screaming.
like, how are we running out of horses? Like, are we even running out of horses? You sold some.
I think it's coming from nowhere, right?
Yeah.
There's always just a single horse somewhere.
Yes.
It's the same horse, just like taken and then given back, taken and given back over and over again.
They give it the Wizard of Oz treatment where they like put a different light on it to make it a different color.
Is that what they did?
Yeah, I think so. It was like, I think they were all like white horses that they colored different colors for the, you're out of the woods, you're out of the da, 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 when they go into the Emerald City. But that's a deep cut. Sorry.
That's a deep cut.
I'm reaching way back.
Nice.
I thought that was a cute scene interaction when he was by the fence and he's like yelling out, "Where'd you get that decoy?" And he's like, "Oh, where'd you get yours?" I love that. She stole it. Kiki stole it from them. That was cute.
Kiki Palmer is the best character in this movie. She's amazing. I love her so much.
She is.
And when they're in the fries, like she just passes some random lady and she's like, "Oh, hello, you're very pretty." And like they just keep on going.
Yeah, she has the best personality. She's so fun in that film.
Yes.
I feel like she just played herself. Like anything I see Kiki in, she's just like always so bubbly and outgoing. I don't know if you ever watched Scream Queens. The first.
No.
Oh my god. Well, so there's only ever 2 seasons of it, but it's like a slasher, but it's a comedy. And she's in it, and she is so funny. Like, season 1's good, season 2, not so much. But if you want, like, a really good Kiki Palmer show, like, watch Scream Queens.
Okay, I want to watch that. Yeah. No, this was the first time I think I really ever saw her in anything. So I really like.
I was trying to think of what else I've seen her in, because I know the name. I just didn't really know what else she had been in.
Oh, now I need to look it up. Give me one second. Because I've seen her in other things. And she's always, I don't want to say she's always the same, because that sounds not right, but her personality is just so infectious.
It just shines through. It just colors it.
Oh, she was in the Lightyear movie. She played a voice in Lightyear.
Oh, she must have been
Izzy
Buzz's friend or something like that.
Yeah, Izzy Hawthorne.
Yeah, she grows up with him, and then he's gone for years. I only saw it once. I'm trying to remember.
I know, right? Yeah.
I missed that one.
It's cute.
It looks cute. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, there's like a little robot cat. It's real cute, but I can keep on with the plot. The next day, Em attempts to get the help of famed cinematographer Antlers Holst to film the UFO. Holst declines, not wanting to encourage Em in what he sees as an endless pursuit of wealth and fame. Angel returns, admitting to watching the cameras, and points out that one particular cloud isn't moving. Angel was crazy to me. I felt bad for him because he's like, this girl just dumped me.
Yeah.
But then he like starts conspiring with them about aliens, and they're like, you really should go. And he's like, no, I've been watching the whole time.
He just kind of inserts himself in here.
Yeah,
he's like,
and they just like, you won't go away. We need to get this done. So here you are.
Well, he was like the perfect person to go by because he obviously was very interested in UFOs and what did he call them? UAPs or something. He had acronym. So yeah, he was the perfect tech guy to come and be interested and help them out. He was a fun character too.
Yes.
This was the actor's like breakout role, I believe. I was reading.
Yeah.
This is like his first big thing he's done, and I thought he did a really good job. I really liked the character.
I did too. I was really worried at the end he was going to die. I was like, I know. I thought he made it for sure. Well, we'll get there.
Yeah. I was going to say something like, no, that's kind of a spoiler. I don't want to say it.
Okay.
Yeah. So OJ theorizes that this must be where the UFO is hiding. And based on its behavior, it is more predator than alien.
I don't know what made him think it was animal, like right off the bat. I was like, what did you see in it that made you think animal? Like, even at the end, I'm still fairly certain that's a spaceship, dude. That doesn't look like an animal to me.
Yeah, I think just because of the like hiding and then like coming out and I don't know, just kind of like darting around. It wasn't like a flying machine that was operated by people with like sense or anything like that. It was all motivated by just predatory drive. I think that's what they were trying to get across.
Yeah, like it was paying attention, and watching them like a predator. And then as it changed shape later, that's when I was like, this is like an ocean creature. Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, for sure.
It's hard not to go forward.
I know. Yeah.
If it's an alien ship, just because it doesn't move like ships we have, doesn't mean it's still not a ship. But that's okay. He ended up being right.
True. Fair.
I was like, I personally would have never made that jump. I don't think ever. That this was.
You would have been questioning OJ the whole way. You'd have been like, "Nah, I don't think so."
He'd be like, "It's literally puking on our house," and I'd be like, "That's just a ship. That's what ships do. It's fine."
You don't know about them.
You don't know. Yeah, don't assume that their ships don't puke. Like that's just what it is.
Well, he grew up, with animals and horses, so he was in tune to those animal behaviors and instinct.
Yeah, for sure.
Meanwhile, at Jupiter's claim, Jupe introduces a live show using Lucky as bait to lure the UFO. Jupe believes the UFO, which he calls the viewers, trust him, and he's been attempting to domesticate it by offering the Haywoods horses to it. He plans to reveal it at the end of the show, but the UFO arrives early and devours everyone in attendance except for Lucky. I was like, see, this is why this woman wasn't allowed to come. Like, even if it went according to plan, we were still going to see a horse die. Why would she want to see that?
Right. I was like, sir, what are you doing? Don't use the horse as bait.
Yeah.
When borrowed horses.
He said, oh, it's an hour early or something like that. I'm like, have you learned nothing?
Absolutely not. It's like two tragedies with animals at this point. And this poor woman who had her face like ripped off is like, not again. Come on. Did not learn their lesson.
Mm-hmm. And when it's like sucking them up and like you can see the inside of it, I'm just so uncomfortable with all the screaming and everything and like the sound as they all get pulled further in.
Mm-hmm.
Don't like that.
Like getting digested.
The crazy part about that is like they were in there for a while because like later, not to jump ahead, but they're screaming like all night. I'm like, can you please digest these people? Like this is the worst fate. The claustrophobic nature of that whole scene. The worst.
Well, I think that's why he could hear the horse and stuff screaming for so long afterwards, because it seemed like it almost always came along with horse screaming sounds in the background. It must have been always hanging on to these horses for, I don't know, an opportune time to put it in his stomach. And I don't know. It's just a lot.
Made that sound.
I don't feel like they would, or at least they should.
I'm like, that's terrifying. Those poor animals.
Yeah. I'm hoping they just kind of did some like audio magic to make it sound like that. I would hope they didn't like force anything to sound like that.
No, I don't think so.
I'm sure no animals were hurt in the making of that film. It clicked when he was trying to get Lucky out of the clear box when he was saying, and I would like to work out a plan, remember, to get them back. OJ, and he was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, sure. Yeah. I was like, that's super suspicious. I haven't even seen what you've done to them yet, but I know this is weird.
Yeah. Something good is not happening with these horses.
So OJ is able to confirm his theory that the UFO is a predatory organism when he goes to rescue Lucky. The creature attempts to pick them up, but can't get to them while they are hiding in the stands. So it goes back to the ranch and rains down all of its undigested debris it collected from Jupiter's Claim crowd on the house.
The audacity of this alien.
Yeah, he's like, I mean, I know the guy that lives here is at the stands hiding. I think it was kind of like when your dog like poops on the rug when you think that they're upset with you or something like that.
Oh, good analogy.
Yeah, kind of like, I know exactly where this guy lives. I'm going to mess up his day.
I thought when I first saw this movie, I thought this thing was like going to try to crush the house. It was really interesting because Jurassic Park ended up being listed as like one of the inspirations, and that's like my favorite movie. And this scene gives me like parallels to the T-Rex scene when it escapes the paddock in Jurassic Park. And I thought for sure it was like, instead of crushing the car, it was like going to try to crush the house.
Oh.
But that did not happen. I feel like it could have just like squished them, like just like went down on them.
Yeah. All the blood though, like it was really oozing there.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
It was a creepy theme too. Mm-hmm. Just all the blood coming down on that house.
And it was like permanently stained that like rusty color afterwards. Like, no time to clean that up, I guess.
No, not when you're chasing an alien. You don't got
I guess not. And he could just come back and do it again anyway.
They were focused. Yeah. Laser focused.
Right. So the house is now stained in blood, littered with random pieces of metal, including the statue of the horse with a string of flags that was used as a decoy, as apparently the UFO can't swallow things that have flying objects attached. Em and Angel are alone and terrified until OJ returns and realizes that it won't attack you if you don't look directly at it. The group escapes the house and spends the night at Angel's, and the next morning Holst comes to join them after hearing about the disappearance of the crowd at Jupiter's Claim, and they devise a plan to record the UFO, now referring to it as Jean Jacket, after one of Haywood's past horses.
I want to mention back when OJ drives back up and it moves from the house directly above his truck. It seemed like an intimidation tactic, didn't it? A little bit? Like it was like,
definitely.
Sir, I know what you're doing. This is a warning.
I'm just waiting for you to make the one wrong move and I will come and get you.
Because again, Jean Jacket totally could have messed up that truck, I feel.
Right.
But it just floated there. I'm just like looking down at him like, I dare you. I dare you to do something.
Yeah, I agree.
And poor Lucky, like they leave for the night and leave him in that little trailer in the car. I mean, I guess he's safe as long as there's like a roof over his head, technically. But
yeah,
I was like, wow, you could probably just put him inside or something.
No, well, he couldn't get out of the truck, so he was kind of they're kind of tied up at the moment. Couldn't
laser focused on getting this.
Yeah, when they were in that little town and they were talking about going back, and I was kind of misled for a second because he said we got to go back and feed him, let him out. And I was, for a second, I was thinking, what, the alien or the force? It's like, no, they're definitely animal lovers. So
yes,
they wouldn't leave Lucky.
Did you guys notice that, like, when they're sitting in this little diner talking about it, too, there's, like, a group of high schoolers outside the window, and it seems like they're about to get in a fight. And then, like, cut to outside of it, and you see the bus, and it's just, like, a bunch of, like, all right, kind of, like, calm down. And people are, like, shuffling onto the bus. So I feel like it was another one of those like animals being pushed too far kind of situations, except it was humans in this case. I don't know. It was a large group of kids. So I assumed either they were kind of like bopping around or about to fight. And I assume fight because of, I don't know. I feel like Jordan Peele doesn't do anything accidentally.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
To bypass Jean Jacket shutting down all the electrical equipment, Holst brings a hand-cranked IMAX film camera. Additionally, the group sets up a field of battery-powered tube-man props to track its location in the sky. I didn't know that that's what they were called, tube-man props, but I had to like look them up exactly what the name was for them. It was just like those guys that are like always waving like outside of car dealerships or whatever.
I didn't get at first, why they had them. And then it was like for the electric.
Yeah, and they also have eyes to kind of like help him focus in on them, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were going to try to use them to choke it. Like, you know, I can't digest like some things. I was like, oh, they're just going to try to feed it all these things. That was not the case. So bad idea.
Jean Jacket is flying up like, oh, I'm about to get like a crowd again to eat. Like, it's just my luck.
That's what I thought, but not quite.
All seems to be going according to plan until a TMZ reporter shows up to get their statement on Jupiter's claim and search the area. M warns him to go the other way, but he drives right into the field on an electric motorcycle, which is automatically shut down once he hits Jean Jacket's force field and he's thrown off the bike. OJ attempts to help him get away, but his helmet is completely reflective, so much like the beginning scene with the horse. Like Jean Jacket sees its reflection and reacts, and in this case, devours the reporter. So yeah, while filming footage of Jean Jacket, Holst says that no one gets the perfect shot and goes to get a better view, ultimately sacrificing himself and the camera to Jean Jacket. This was not a good idea, I thought, but I think he was just like so passionate about getting that shot to have real proof. But I was like, but no one's going to see it if it gets eaten.
Yeah, I think they had a flash forward earlier in the film when she said the shot of a lifetime. He's like, not my lifetime. But I was thinking maybe he thought like the film would be spit out, and that's why, because the animal wouldn't be able to digest it.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. I mean, I guess he did like spit out things as small as keys, so I guess that would make sense.
Yeah.
I don't know what this man was thinking, but I thought he like wanted to die. I thought he wanted to be eaten by this thing. That's what it seemed like.
Well, when M calls him, he's like watching footage of a tiger and a snake fighting. He's like obsessed with like animals violently like attacking each other. So I think it's really ironic, I guess, that she found him while he was in this phase, I guess. But
he went full on method.
Definitely.
Exactly. I don't know. I don't know what the plan was, but I felt like I was like, so are we done? Like we have proof, but I guess since he went up there with the camera, it was eaten. So
yeah, I mean, they
had
lost
to do it again. Thanks, Holst. Really appreciate it.
Glad we added you to this.
Right.
Brought you in.
Angel runs after him, but is tangled up with tarp and barbed wire, so when Jean Jacket tries to eat him, he spits him out, and the creature unfurls itself into a large floating jellyfish-like shape.
I was like, what is going on once that happened?
Yeah, it's like a combination of looking like the mask of a ship or a jellyfish. Someone even on the internet said it looked like a vagina, and I was like, I don't know if I'd go that far, but interesting to look at.
It is very interesting. I read somewhere someone said like a biblically accurate angel was another inspiration, allegedly. I don't know how true that is, but it is very different. I wonder like why. Did it just try to make itself look bigger? You know how like animals try to like fur goes up to make themselves bigger? Like what was the point of that?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Like, you know how some birds, like their feathers, they get huge and beautiful and majestic looking. And that's what I was thinking. It's like an animal behavior and it's just bowing up or getting big or scared.
Like you've been messing with me for this long, so I apparently have to bring out the big guns. Like
Jean Jacket snapped. Like this was it. It got massive. He got huge.
Thing was normal for Jean Jacket up until this point.
No, he's like, I've had enough of you people.
Jean Jacket turns towards M, so OJ creates a diversion, riding Lucky and looking the creature in the eye to allow M to escape on the motorcycle to Jupiter's claim. Once there, M releases the park's large helium balloon mascot of Jupe, which I thought was ironic that it's Jupe of all people, whose winking eye attracts Jean Jacket's attention. Jean Jacket and the balloon have a "no, I'm Dirty Dan" kind of staring moment. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen SpongeBob, but it was what I thought of. Dan. Like, no, I'm Dirty Dan. No, I'm Dirty Dan. And they just kind of stare each other off. And then Jean Jacket tries to swallow it while M uses an attraction analog camera to photograph it. The balloon bursts inside Jean Jacket's body and destroys it instantly. With the picture as proof of the creature's existence and reporters arriving nearby, M sees an unharmed OJ and Lucky standing outside of Jupiter's claim.
I wouldn't have thought the balloon would have killed it, but I guess it popping made it. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't think about the popping either. I thought it was just going to be like it wouldn't be able to digest it. And then when it popped, I was like, oh. Okay.
Oh, man, that's kind of sad. I kind of felt bad for Jean Jacket. Yeah. Like, it's just like an animal, like anything else. And it's just, I guess it looks kind of fragile because it popped at the end. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
that's sad.
It was nice to see OJ because I wasn't sure what the heck happened to him. Like, did he die? Did he go up? Like,
a lot of people online still think he's dead anyway. And like Emma's just like hallucinating at the end. A lot of the search when I was looking up theories is like OJ dead. Is OJ and Lucky dead? I'm like, no. Maybe? I don't know. I didn't think about it that way.
I didn't think that either.
Oh, I thought he was alive.
I think so too. I don't know. I think the way it ends and everything, she seems so relieved to see him. I don't think it's like a ghost.
It's kind of like the same shot, right, of the Haywood grandfather on the horse in the very beginning. It was in frame.
It kind of looked like that as well.
Maybe that's why they thought he's now like his grandfather. I don't know.
Yeah, like coming for a full circle or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think he was dead. And then when somebody questioned it, and even Charlie brought it up, he's like, yeah, they think that he's dead. And I was like, oh.
What? I
I
never
never even considered it. So now I'm like 50-50, I guess.
My mind is blown. Yeah. I get it.
I mean, I guess we never really see what, like, he's so close to Jean Jacket before it cuts to M, like, riding away. And then we don't really focus on him again until that last shot. So I guess it's up for debate.
I'm going to say he's alive just because that's what I want it to be. So
I think he deserves to be.
yeah, after all that, yeah.
I think so. They've got a special bond that the brother and sister, they got to still be around together.
Exactly. I was also wondering too, like with the paparazzi pulling up at the end too, like you could hear people reporting on it. So I was like, did they kind of like lose their chance to tell this story when people are already like reporting on like seeing something up in the sky and stuff like that? You know how sometimes if a big group already like says like, oh, we claim to see a spaceship or we claim to see something, you know, then it just becomes, especially once you try to bring more proof, it kind of gets muddled in all of those like false claims as well, or just people just spotting it with no evidence. So I was wondering if it was going to ruin their shot to be on Oprah. She kept on saying this was like the Oprah shot.
That was going to save their ranch and everything. So I hope not. I hope the Oprah shot worked.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to end on a good note. Like he's alive and they have this photo and I feel like it's going to work out for them. I feel like it has to.
I'm going to say that it does in my head, just because, like I said, I want the best for them. I'm going to say it went well.
Yeah, it was like the people that weren't respecting the animals, they had a hard time. And the ones that were a little more caring and humane, they survived.
Yeah, that makes the most sense.
I'll leave it at that.
So I actually have an interesting theory. It's all about the Gordy's home flashback. I found that in this article from The Terrifying Key to Understanding Jordan Peele's Nope is the Gordy's home flashback. This was from Men's Health magazine, and Evan Romano wrote it. And towards the end, it says, Jupe told himself that he was special, and in the end overlooked the mundanities that led him to where he was. He was only in that movie and on that show because other forces like his parents guided him there. He survived most likely because of some combination of the tablecloth separating his line of sight from Gordy's and sheer random happenstance. In his mind, he had already made it through the worst the universe had to offer. What's an alien when you've already stared the friendly face of death in the eyes? But the reality was that he was no different from anyone else, just another guy chasing a dollar. Peele mentioned during the Nope press tour that his original working title for Nope was Little Green Men. In other words, the faces on our paper currency. Sure, there's an alien in Nope, but that alien isn't the person responsible for the most deaths in the film. The person responsible is the one who had so much hubris and was so blindly confident in his own status within the world that he drew an audience to show off the spectacle of something that he never had any control over. Jupe, his family, and his audience of at least 40 people ended up sucked into Jean Jacket's alien stomach, all in pursuit of those little green men.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like the theory that, well, I feel like that's like the best read on the character is just like him thinking that he's special. He thought that Gordy had chosen him to be like special because of their bond or whatever. And really, it was probably just the tablecloth protecting him from looking Gordy directly in the eyes.
Yeah, he just really got lucky and that was it.
We didn't mention it, but like when the whole incident happened, that shoe was like kind of standing up on its heel. And I think that plays into like the luck and like the one special moment that happened. I think that kind of plays into that theory as well.
OJ and M are talking about it at one point too. They call it a bad miracle. And I looked it up as well. It was someone compared it to like if a town burns down and all that's left is like a cross outside of a church. Like it's sad that the town burnt down, but it's like a miracle that the cross is still standing. So the shoe is like that. And like it's a bad miracle that Jupe lived through that, but it is what it is.
It's like just a coincidence. Happened to survive that. I wondered what the deal was with the shoe. So that makes sense. Thanks for.
Yeah, I had to figure it out. It took me a little bit. I was like, I don't know what's with this one shoe.
Was the shoe related to the alien? Like,
You'd
was
think.
it Gordy's shoe? Like,
yeah, that was interesting.
The film has been characterized as containing themes related to spectacle and exploitation. GQ's Derek D. Kennedy wrote that Nope is a movie about spectacle, more specifically our addiction to spectacle. Nope is about holding a mirror up to all of us and our inability to look away from drama or peril. And then he also states that it's also about the erasure of Black contributions to the history of filmmaking plays a significant role in the film. And then also Jordan Peele was partially inspired to write Nope by the COVID-19 lockdowns and the endless cycle of grim, inescapable tragedy in 2022.
that seems about right, honestly, with the time.
I believe it. Yeah, right.
I think he also compared it to when people can't look away at like accidents on the freeway and stuff like that. Like you just want to know for some reason or another. It's just inside of you.
Morbid curiosity. It's like when there's an accident, it's like basically cleaned up at that point, but the traffic is still stuck because people are slowing down to see it.
Right.
It's like, keep going.
Yeah. It's like also, capitalizing on tragedy. They went through that horrible thing and still it's like, how can we make money off this? And that's really why the media was there and they're just all trying to sell papers or ads or whatever.
Something I thought was interesting too. I was like, but isn't OJ and M doing the same thing, trying to capitalize off of it? And I was like, I kind of thought so. But the way it read online and stuff was because they were treating Jean Jacket more with respect as an animal, that it was more right on their side of what they were doing to capitalize on it rather than what everybody else was doing.
I was going to say, maybe it's more like the approach of it. Not necessarily you're using it, but the way you're doing it is what matters. But Michelle, before we wrap up, on a rating of 1 to 13, how scary do you think Nope is?
Scary. So this is like keeps me up at night, scary or something.
Yeah. So like 13 is like the scariest movie you ever seen, and 1 is like my toddler could watch it. Kind of.
I'm gonna say like a 5 or 6.
I had it right on 6.
Yeah, because it's really not that scary. It has, a few moments here and there, but yeah, I'm not like afraid to sleep because I watched that film or something, or afraid to be alone.
I feel the same way too. I would say I was like probably a 5, maybe even a 4 at certain scenes, but I think the 5 really just kind of gets amped up with like all of the screaming and then the people being sucked up inside of it. That was too much for me. Yeah. And the monkey, of course, the monkey scenes. Like there's just like a tension that just builds and builds, and I think it's just throughout all of Jordan Peele's stuff as well. But it's just always like a rock in your stomach.
Yeah, I gave it a 6 because of the screaming, boys in the alien costume, and I almost passed out during this movie, so I feel like I have to bump it up just a little bit. Now that's a personal issue I have, but I feel like I had to give it a little bit higher. So
that first monkey scene, the chimpanzee, that is pretty gruesome.
Especially from like Jupe's perspective, as you like, I don't remember which flashback it is. I think it's like the one in the middle where you're kind of like watching it from his perspective as the chimp just kind of like sits there next to the body of the girl co-star. I think the one that got her face taken off, and how he kind of like flicks at her feet and she doesn't do anything, but he still goes and attacks her again anyway.
I had to fast forward. I didn't actually watch that scene again. I had to go on by.
You're like, I remember it all.
I remember. I know what happens. I don't need to see it. I'm good.
It was bad. It was bad. It was bloody.
Michelle, thank you so much for joining us again. Before we wrap up, is there anything you wanted to talk about or any projects you have coming down the line that you want to talk about at all?
Just, I would love for people to check out, our teaser and Sherlock Holmes Murder of the Night, our Facebook page. And then also on YouTube, you can search up CJ Goodwin and you'll get updates about our project. We are doing a crowdfunding right now as well. So we would appreciate any support that people would love to give. And you can donate on our Facebook page as well, Sherlock Holmes Murder of the Night.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the show and listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, giving us a 5-star rating is super helpful and we will always appreciate it.
Spotify users can now comment on our episodes, so we'd love to hear from you on how we're doing. And you can find us on social media using 13 Degrees of Screams.
This has been 13 Degrees of Screams, and we will see you next week.
Hey, Mom, there's something in the back room. Hope it's not those creatures from above.
Yeah.